Yeah, hi, this is globalinvestorradio.com. These are some of the stocks I've been tracking for the last 2 or 3 months, and I've just re-evaluated them over the weekend on the Sunday the 28th. It's now Monday morning, around 3 o'clock in the morning Hong Kong time. These stocks are in the computer software sector. They're mostly monthly charts and a few weekly charts thrown in as well. I'd just like to say a big thanks to part1 for supplying the charts as well. This stock, ATEA, it's a fantastic looking monthly chart. Had huge action back around 97, came right down, and it's snaked along the bottom really since 2001 here. I mean, it's had a boost up, and it did have a decent move up, a very decent move up, and then it's reformed an accumulation. And over the last month or two, I have been slowly accumulating positions in this particular stock. A lot of these stocks that I'm covering in part one are what you call laggards. They're at the bottom of the computer software sector. They haven't participated in the bull market that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 years. SMSI, as you can see here, another monthly chart. Whenever you see a parabolic move like that, it's always wise never to hold on for too long. I mean, that type of move upwards always spells disaster. It's come rocketing back down here where my mouse is, and formed another base cycle with very nice accumulation action. And this next cycle lasted for 4.5 to 5 years with the distribution at the top as well. We could be seeing a new cycle here. We've had some gradual downtrends here where my mouse is, and I'm accumulating some small positions in this particular market, but it may well be far too early. It may be another year or two, or maybe 3 years before this market takes off. You can never really tell. With this particular system, is it going to happen next week or in the next couple of years? But the point of fact is that with money that's spare, is to put it into low-lying stocks like this that appear to be accumulating, and also the volume action at the bottom, signifies accumulation as well. And that's the particular strategy I have with these markets. Sometimes there's better looking stocks, and when it does move out of its base, they're the ones to put more sizable positions into. As it moves out of a 5 to 6 year low level and it consolidates, you can start putting more money into that particular stock because it's broken out of the base range, and you can feel a little bit more assured that it's going to go on a 4 to 5 year run like this particular run did back in 2003. Explore Tech, ticker symbol XPLR. Again, very nice base action here on the weekly chart. It's not really long enough to bet the farm on, and I never do that anyway. I like to follow really what I call not the kingpin method, but something similar where you've got lots of different positions with very small amounts of money at risk, and if you play the market like that with these long accumulation bases, if one takes 3 or 4 years to rise and another one takes off straight away, or another one collapses, on average, I've looked back and tracked it 65 years. As of now, I've still got to go back further, but the percentage gains for working that system, in terms of putting small amounts of money into each particular stock rather than putting massive amounts of money into each particular stock. I know people like Buffett tend to talk about putting all their eggs in one basket, but does he really? I mean, look how diversified his companies are. Right, ticker symbol GVP. Again here, a monthly chart, huge downtrend. We did have a very nice rise here, 1,000, probably 12 times your money on this rise over a very short period of time. Fantastic move. We see here a long downtrend line being broken, and I've just added this here. I think it's far too early really to start accumulating positions in, but it's definitely on the watch list, and it's moving up the watch list as it becomes stronger in its base area. And it looks like to me at the moment that the public are have sold out of this big time. The only people that are buying into this are really professional investors and people that are looking to hold long term. Right, this stock here, EFUT, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a Chinese stock. I do check out the stocks in terms of what they do sometimes, but again, with the experience that I've had and the books that I've read, it really has never done me any good. It's never made me any money, but I do take an interest in that as well, and I try and remain unemotional as I'm finding out about these stocks. I believe this was a Chinese one that's taken a battering amidst all the false reporting back in 2011, and I think it's been bunched in with that bad bunch just because of its association with China. But it looks to me like a very good base action here, and again in the last 2 or 3 months I've been buying into this particular market, not on a large scale, again using the kingpin method, just buying a little bit in terms of the overall size of a portfolio. I wouldn't consider putting more than 0.1, 0.2% in any particular market, but this looks very good for me, and if it breaks out say over 5, I'll consider putting more into this particular stock as well. Avid Technology, AVID, again I think it's far too early, and it's dipped below this sort of $7 to $8 pivotal point here, and it's developed into a new base area with a couple of new pivotal points where my mouse is, and it's been in a huge downtrend, and it still is roughly in that downtrend, but here you can see the trend being broken on this smaller downtrend here where my mouse is, and it does seem to have quietened down, and the volume is getting low, and I like to see low volume in a base and low volatility in terms of price action, so it's definitely on the watch list as well. And this is the weekly chart of Avid. As you can see, the spikes up are getting smaller, turning more into a congested triangle here. You could call it a descending triangle as well, but its position in terms of the overall cycle of the market, I would say that the probabilities for this to be an ascending triangle, and we'll see the market moving up at some point in the future. And as you see here with the short-term trend that I drew on the monthly, this bit here has broken it, but again it's not really long enough to confirm to me that professional action is coming to the market, but it definitely looks that way, and it looks a good one for the future. BSQR, again on the weekly here, nice downtrends being broken. For me, in terms of an accumulation base cycle, really, the perfect cycle for me looking back in history is around 3.5 to 5 years, but we have seen good base action after 12 months and rises of 500-600%. I mean, this base action here could very well produce a large move, but generally the more solid the foundation, i.e. the longer the base, the bigger the rise. But here I'm definitely looking to accumulate some of this company in the next couple of weeks as well. So it's on the watch list, and I think it won't be too far away from being a buy. This is it on the monthly chart. Huge base action here, but because of the parameters on the chart, as you can see here, it's $20 gap between each bar. So this may look like fantastic base action, but you have to be careful in terms of what the parameters are of the chart. And if you zoomed in on this on a weekly, you'd see that there's been a lot more volatility than this chart suggests. But here we are seeing fantastic base action like we saw on the weekly chart, and extremely low volume as well, which is very attractive for the way I trade. ADEP here, again great looking base action. This is what you call a laggard, hasn't participated in the 3 to 4 year bull market we've seen, and it's just stayed low. And a stock like this will force people to sell out, because they'll see other stocks rising and they'll see that this stock isn't rising, and they'll sell out in disgust eventually. And that's what professional investors, accumulators do on a larger scale, is they wait for the times in the market where the actual technical strength of the stock, they can move it into their favour without adjusting the price or lowering it too much once it's reached a very good value. And I think this stock here is set for a huge rise at some point in the next year or two. The only thing I would say in negativity to it is this volume action here. I would like to see lower volume here, so again I would be cautious, but it does look very, very good indeed. Peerless Systems, PRLS, looks to me like we're entering a new phase here. Where my mouse is here, we can see that the downtrend being broken and a new base being developed, support coming to the market, nice steady uptrend, 100% move up in the market, and then consolidating around this level, and then a nice gradual downtrend here. I've been buying into this market the last couple of months on a very small scale, and if it breaks the $4.10 level, I'll be buying in again, and I would suspect the market will at least go up to $6.50 to $8 in the next year. Okay, that's it for now. I'll be uploading part 2 from this computer software sector, and again, if you'd like to take a look at the Oak Trader report, it's released every Sunday 11 PM Hong Kong time. Thanks for listening. Cheers. Bye bye now.